Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your first day of school, first semester 2023-2025. By the way, I'm your third officer, Aris Sanggalang, and I'm handling your course Maritime Marine Environment. And uh, sa mga hindi pa nakakilala sa akin, I've been working at sea since 2014. I've been sailing for tanker vessels ever since. And I'm also graduated at Celtic College and currently I'm studying in John B. Lacson University, my master's degree in maritime education, specialized in administration and supervision. And also, I'm currently taking here in Canada a master's in applied ocean technology. So that's why we are in a online class, in able for me to teach you in maritime marine environment. So we have time differences. So most of our uh, lectures, no, I've been taking a recorded video, but at the same time, I'm also online to add additional informations regarding with our discussion. So for us, in able to understand more deeper the study. So first, uh, I want you to introduce yourself right after the video presentation. So that's why I can fully know your names. So sa mga iba, kilala ko, maybe I already encountered you in school or in your senior high school during those days. So again, I want you to be familiar with the Google Classroom because we'll be using Google Classrooms for the rest of our course. So sa mga hindi pa nakaka-join sa Google Classroom, please join the Google Classroom, yung link. So yung link natin ay nasa Messenger, sinend ko dun yung link natin sa Messenger, also yung ating link para sa ating Google Meet kasi magmi-meet tayo through Google Meet. So I'll also send the link. By the way, the link is the same until the rest of our course. So hindi po siya magbabago, the same link for the Google Classroom and for the Google Meet. Iisa lang po yung link natin. Then pagdating naman po sa ating attendance, yung ating attendance ay recorded yan ng Google Meet. So even if nag-join kayo ng late or nag-join kayo ng mas maaga, naka-record yan. Magsasend sa akin yung Google Meet na what time kayo nag-log in and what time kayo nag-log out. So it is automatically recorded. Sa mga nagli-leave, naka-record din po kung nag-leave kayo or kailan ulit kayo nag-join. So again, no, that's why we are in a advanced technology. We need to maximize the usage of the technology para naman magamit natin in our times. So since hindi tayo physical or we don't have face-to-face interaction, no? So I want to give instructions pagdating sa ating mga so again, no, meron tayong house rules. So first, kung gusto nyo mag-CR, you can or kung gusto niyo punta ng restroom, pwede kayong mag-chat sa chat box natin dito sa ating Google Meet or pwede rin kayong mag-raise ng hand. No? So for those who have questions, patapusin niyo muna yung presentation natin, then all of the questions will be addressed right after the presentation. Para dire-diretso yung presentations natin, then right after the presentations, doon natin itatakal yung mga questions niyo. No? So para mas malinaw, kasi mahirap yung meron kayong questions, then yung lecture natin ay dire-diretso, then mababago, then mababago. So, dun muna tayo sa lecture, then right after the lecture, then we can go to your questions para sa ating question and answer portion. So again, uulitin ko, no, for the third time, I think ang mga hindi pa nakakapag-join ng Google Classroom kasi sa Google Classroom, I will be posting the activity which is we're going to record the activity and also our exams, quiz, and um, quiz exam, and also the major exams, no? And also the announcements that we're going to announce sa ating mga uh, regarding sa ating subject matter or our sa school natin, even sa school. Then kung meron kayong gusto niyo magpaalam or meron kayong gusto i-address, no, you can make it a message through our GC. So sa mga nagse-send po sa ating mga messenger through private messages, pwede niyo po i-address ito sa ating Google Messenger, no? Para lahat po is aware kung absent kayo since it is a online class, no? It is impossible na hindi kayo maka-join. Okay, so by the way, uh, here's our topic for the prelim topics. No, so first we have the Convention of Marine Pollution, which is on our page 2 to 42. And for the first week, ayun yung ating itatakel, no? Page 2 to 42. And don't worry, yung ating mga lectures will be posted on our Google Classroom. So that's why I'm telling you na ngayon pa lang mag-join na kayo sa ating Google Classroom. So para from the first day hanggang sa ating last day is maka-coop up kayo ng lessons kasi all of the handouts I will be posted there. So after the discussions, meron din tayong exercises which is pages 43 to 44. And for our next week, we have sources of pollution and its effect of the marine environment, MARPOL 73 and 78. It is pages 45 to 79 and so on and so forth. So, if mapapansin nyo, every after discussion, meron tayong exercises. But don't worry, I will give you enough time para magkaroon kayo ng enough time to think and meron kayong resources na pagkukuhanan and it is very helpful. Ngayon pa lang sinasabi ko sa inyo na every time na magkakaroon tayong discussion is mag-screenshot kayo or take down kayo ng notes. No? Kasi most likely, after the discussion, exercises, then after the exercises, doon ko po ipopost yung ating handouts. Bakit? Kasi yung iba, ginagawa is kukuhanin na kagad dun sa handout. So, parang medyo merong tayong time para makinig, no? Hindi open na kagad lahat, nandun na yung answer. So, parang meron din kayong focus sa ating course matter. So, again, at the end of the weeks ng ating prelim, meron tayong magiging prelim exam. So, prelim exam, it is most likely on pages 187 to 189. So for the week 1, we have module 1. The topic is Convention of Maritime Pollution. So our LOs stands for Learning Objectives. It is the objective of our module or even our topic. It is illustrate the overview of Convention of Maritime Pollution. It is adopted in the IMO, which is the International Maritime Organization with its annexes and protocols. So learning objectives. So right after our discussion, after completing this subject, the cadet, meaning cadet kayo yun, no, will be able to acquire knowledge, may makuha kayong knowledge of the precautions to be taken to prevent pollution of marine environment, identify anti-pollution procedures and all associated equipment. So you will be able to identify the anti-pollution procedures in which you can prevent pollution and its equipment. And also you can summarize the importance. You can jot down notes to able to summarize what is the importance of proactive measures, kung ano yung kahalagahan ng mga measurements to be taken to protect the marine environment. So specification of minimum standard of competence of officer in charge of navigational watch on ships of 500 gross tonnage or more. So specification, which means that we need to specify the minimum standards. Pag sinabi minimum standards, it is on the minimum level. No, minimum hanggang dito lang, hindi pwedeng bumaba dito. It is the minimum level, which is on our competence. No, kung meron kayong sasampahan na barko, make sure nyo na yung barkong sasampahan nyo is nasa minimum standard, which is 500 gross tonnage or more. So below 500 gross tonnage, it is not acceptable in marina. So meaning, kahit na sumampa po kayo ng barko, kung hindi 500 gross tonnage and above yung vessel na sasakyan nyo, it is not acceptable. Hindi acceptable yung papel nyo at hindi kayo makakapagpa-BS or hindi ito tatanggapin on our end pagdating sa ating documents. So malinaw po tayo doon, always remember yung minimum requirement sa ating gross tonnage. So it is applicable for marine transportation students. So function 3, it is controlling the operation of ship and care of persons on board. So controlling the operation, you know how to control the scenario on ships and also the person. Hindi lang yung kagamitan or equipment on board, also the persons and its duty and responsibility for the operations of the equipment. So for the competence, we should ensure the compliance, no, if we are complying with the pollution prevention requirements. So sometimes even if na alam natin na gumagawa tayo ng tama but we are not complying. So para lang sa mga bagay na kunwari mo sa tingin natin ginagawa natin in a right way pero hindi naman siya compliant. Para din sa pagsampa niyo ng barko, "Sir, sumampa po ako ng barko." Pero hindi naman barko nga siya, pero hindi siya nasa minimum standard. Which is yung sabi natin kanina nasa 500 gross tonnage or more. Sumampa ka nga ng barko pero it is not on the minimum. So we must remember and ensure that the compliance with the pollution prevention requirements. So parang ganun lang din siya, no? So we must ensure we are compliant. Sumusunod tayo, no, sa requirements pagdating sa pollution prevention. So International Convention of the Prevention of Pollution from Ships on 1973 and Protocol of 1978 relating to the MARPOL. So by the way, MARPOL stands for Marine Pollution of 1973 and 1978. So next, MARPOL 73-78, the International Convention of Pollution of Ships, 1973 as modified as the Protocol of 1978. So it is amended and it is modified in 1978. So MARPOL in short, Marine Pollution, and 73-78 in short of years of 1973 and 1978, in which most of the important international marine environmental conventions. It is desired to minimize the pollution of seas, including dumping, pagtapon ng oil, and exhaust and pollution. So meaning, ang MARPOL is most likely law regarding the pollution prevention at sea, no? So again, we are being a serious matter pagdating sa ating oil pollution or prevention of pollution at sea. So here in MARPOL, it is the primary objective of the MARPOL 73-78, which is our law pagdating sa ating uh, pollution prevention. The International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution of Ships adopted during 1973, and it is modified through Protocol of 1978. So it contains comprehensive provisions compared to the previous conventions. So an abbreviation derived from the words marine and pollution, and it is directed towards the limiting marine pollution caused by the damage to ships and day-to-day operation of the ships. So make sure na when you got on board, especially when you are in a ocean-going vessel, pag sinabi nating ocean-going vessel, it is the right term for international sea-going vessel. So wala po kayong makikita na sa papel nyo or on the STCW na international or local. Ang correct term po dyan is ocean-going vessel or the domestic, no? Pag sa domestic, we are referring into inter-island. So wala pong inter-island na nakalagay doon. Ang nakalagay dyan ay domestic. And for the international, ang nakalagay dyan ay ocean-going vessel or sea-going vessel. So we have the books, no? 73-78, MARPOL, and you can find it on our library. Meron po tayo niyan sa library. For those who want to deepen their knowledge about the marine pollution, you can check out on our library, no? Mag-advise na kayo sa ating librarian. So in 1954, International Convention of the Pollution of Sea, Oil or OILPOL in 1954. So before, it is called by OILPOL, and it is hosted by United Kingdom and entered into force in 1958. So in this distinction, we've made by oil and oily mixture from machinery space from the cargo dock. So alam naman natin na yung mga machinery ay hindi gagana kapag wala tayong oil na ginamit, no? So it was defined as crude oil, fuel oil, and heavy diesel oil. So during those days, no, gumagamit tayo ng machinery to operate our vessel. So it is mandated into 1954, and prohibited zones were laid down to discharge of cargo oil into the sea of 50 nautical miles for NM, and 100 parts per million for ppm. So reception facility. So meron tayong mga oil waste or oil residue na nilalagay lang natin siya sa ating reception facility, at we cannot discharge here overboard, no? Sa reception facility po natin siya dini-discharge. In 1958, IMO assured that OILPOL 54 and entered into force. So this depository secretariat function in relation to convention were transferred into to IMO, so which is the International Maritime Organization. So during 1967, Taray Canyon incident and the biggest pollution incident at that time, and IMO decided to convene on 1969 in response to the incident. So pag sinabi in response, para pinakagamot or pinaka-response natin pagdating do sa insidente, it is implemented on the date on the said day. So they raised question about the technical and legal aspect. Also, in 1969, the International Maritime Organization decided to convene an international conference on 1973. So they started to gather all the people who are liable in order to have a conference, and it is a done in 1969 to convene for the organization what they're going to amend on the requirements regarding on the quality of the effluents, and also the limitation of quantities of oil which tankers were permitted to discharge on the sea. So on 1973, IMO adopted the International Convention of Prevention of Pollution from Ships, or MARPOL 73. And it is incorporated of oil of 1954. So from OILPOL 54 turned into MARPOL 73. To Torrey Canyon incident, so agreement was made on the contamination of the sea, land, and air by ships. So from oil pollution, they come up into the contamination of land, air, and sea by ships, no? So hindi lang siya by oil, meron din siyang through air and through land. So two protocols were made, and it is need to ratified by the 15 IMO member countries. So by that time, only 15 countries, in which 50% of the gross tonnage of the world split. So that time 15 IMO member pa lang, or 15 countries pa lang na member ng IMO ang nakakapag tackle nitong convention na to, no? So on 1976, only 3 IMO member countries ratified the convention with only 1% of gross tonnage of the total world fleet. So Jordan, Kenya, and Tunisia, which is the 3 IMO member. So in 1976 to 77, 2 tanker incidents in Orkiola and Hawaiian Patriot. So for the GT, it stands for gross tonnage. So in 1978, IMO held a conference on TSSP. It stands for Tanker Safety Pollution Prevention, and it includes tanker designs and operation in response to the 2 tanker incident. So they incorporated the 1978 protocols to 1974 SOLAS Convention and adopted on February 17, 1978. So SOLAS stands for Safety of Life at Sea. So the condition to entry into force, states become party to the convention by the first implementing Annex 1 and Annex 2. So on 1983, October 2, MARPOL 7378 entered into force to Annex 1 and Annex 2. The condition to entry into force states that the party to become convention by the first implementing Annex 1 and Annex 2. So by that time, they are considering it is not only the MARPOL itself, no? They need to include annexes. They need to divide the MARPOL. It is which is marine pollution, ano ba yung mga nagiging pollutant sa at sea, and they need to classify by the what kind of pollution is this. So they need to develop the annexes. So first, they implementing the Annex 1 and Annex 2. So the objective of MARPOL 7078 to achieve the complete elimination of intentional pollution of the environment by oil and other harmful substances to minimize accidental discharge. So it is stated in the object to preserve the marine environment through the complete elimination of pollution by oil and other harmful substances and the minimization of the accidental discharge of such substance. So the original MARPOL Convention was signed on 17th of February 1973, but it did not come into force. So the current convention is a combination of 1973 convention and 1978 protocol. So kaya yung MARPOL natin is 73 and 78. So it is the convention and also the protocol. So entered into force in 1983, and also as of December 2015, 136 representing countries from the world shipping tonnage are parties to the convention. So imagine before there's only 15 member, now it is 136 countries representing. So and it is almost 98% of the world's shipping tonnage. So it is as of 2015. The original MARPOL Convention on 1973 of February 17 did not come up into force, but the current is a combination of 73-78. So, maulit lang siya. And all flag under countries that are signatories to the MARPOL are subjects to its requirements, and regardless where they are sailing. And also the nations responsible for the vessels registered under their respective nationalities. So, on shipboard, sea pollution sources, kung makikita nyo dyan, meron tayong exhaust from the machinery combustion of waste. Siyempre, dito natin nilalabas sa ating funnel. So, the emission of also the freon and halon gases. So, ayun yung ating by air. And also sewage and garbage, oil spills from engine, and also ballast water discharge, anti-fouling point, and beach water disposal. So along the way, mapapag-aralan natin ang different kinds or different annexes of the MARPOL. So first, meron tayo dito sa basic principle of marine pollution muna. No? So matatakal natin siya along the way. Dito muna tayo sa step by step. So for the basic principle, we see from the space, the blue color of the planet Earth is vast water of the ocean surrounding the beautiful planet Earth of about 70% of Earth is comprised of water. So ocean are the biggest stores of water on Earth. Water leaves the oceans through the evaporation and then enters again through the rainfalls, lakes, rivers, and ground rivers. So that is the circle of the marine life. So there was a time that a man thought that the ocean was infinite and everything was absorbed by it. So ocean and seas literally became the receptors of almost kinds of refuse originating from shore as well as the waste coming up from the ship. And in 1972, the United Nations Conference of Human Environment was held in Stockholm, Sweden. The conference provided an international forum to resolve the environmental issues that included in the marine environment. So in the same year, another international conference was held in London. This was the International Convention of Prevention of Pollution by Dumping of Waste and Other Matters. So London Dumping Convention, it was called. And in 1973, it is the International Convention of Prevention of Marine Pollution from Ships was adopted. So that has been the most comprehensive convention as regarded to the protection of marine environment coming from ships. So the convention was modified in 1978 protocol relating to the hereto. So particularly, it is called the 7378. So this convention of the International Regulation for Prevention and Control of Marine Pollution become important and is concerned in marine community. But before that, what is the various meaning of the pollution? So the world's defined as it's something that makes us pure thing impure. So scientifically, pollution is the chemical, gaseous, and organic waste which contaminate the air, soil, or water. So anything that pollutes the air or the earth's element is called pollutant. Environmental pollution, basically it refers to all kinds of pollution in the earth environment. There are different meaning on environmental pollution. The meaning depend on what part of the earth element has been polluted. The marine pollution is only one type of environmental pollution for the purpose of distinguishing marine pollution from the other types of environmental pollution. So the marine pollution, it is only referring into marine life. Or other environmental issues or environmental pollution, it is regarded on all over the earth. No? We're referring only on the marine nature. So air pollution is also called as atmospheric pollution. Atmospheres outside our home may contain pollutants such as dust, smoke, vapors, or etc. So marine pollution, we're referring into a man-made cause pollution that came from vessels in which we are being or in which we must be aware of because we are the one who producing its pollutions, and this pollution is the uh, cost in which we need to eliminate or prevent because we are referring into marine pollution. So the substantial quantities of these pollutants stay with the atmosphere for a period of time. So qualities and duration oftentimes create harmful effect to person, places, animal, and things. So dust, fuel, exhaust, and air rockets debris are some of the air pollutants in which results from man's entry into space. So again, we are concerning here the pollutants in which we are referring to us and the pollution that we are made. Water pollution is referred to the alteration of water in which reduces the quality of its useful to people, plants, animals, and properties. So, how it became polluted, in which the primary source of the water, in which the water became pure, and when it is being impure, it is entered the pollution. So water pollution can be considered as major pollution from Philippines and also in other developing countries. So we are in a third world country, so the Philippines is considered also a developing country. So ano po yung mga developed countries? We are referring into US, Canada, and so on and so forth. Also especially Singapore. So they are the developed countries, they are the first world country. And we are the Philippines, we are in a third world country, so that's why we are called to be a developing country. So sound pollution, don't you think that the sound refers to any sound that too loud and irritating to human ears is called sound pollution? So maybe for you it is very not common, and this noise is measured in decibels. So anything na nagke-create ng ating irritant sa ating ears, it is a sound pollution in which the maximum decibels that we need to accept in our ear, it's more than more than too much, no? And it sounds a sound pollution. So pollution from hazardous waste are either liquid or solid waste. So it is a combination of waste that pose a great hazard to human living organism, and for the following reason. So first reason, waste are non-degradable. Ito po yung mga waste na hindi naman nag-degrade, hindi natin nalulusaw or hindi siya na-decompose. Waste can be biomagnified. Waste tend to be cause detrimental or cumulative effect. So cumulative effect can be effect to our harm or can harm to our human and also biologically magnified. So hazardous waste can be categorized to accordance with the following. So meron tayong chemical waste, radioactive substance waste, biological waste, flammable waste, and explosive waste. So that is the hazardous waste that can be categorized in the following. And marine pollution are known for the concept of other types. So on environmental pollution, it's now distinguished the meaning of marine pollution. In defining marine pollution, the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, so UNCED, used to define the adopted of the group on expert specific aspect of marine pollution, or GEMSA. Marine pollution defined as an introduction of man directly or indirectly of substance energy in the marine environment. It is including the estuaries, resulting in such that deleterious effect of harmful to living resources of harm hazard to human health and hindrance balakid to marine activities including fishing, impairment or quality for the use of the seawater and reduction of amenities. So, nagiging balakid daw siya sa ating marine activities in which sa ating pangingisda or the quality of use or the quality of the water at sea and for the reduction of its amenities. Ano ba yung mga amenities na nakukuha natin sa ating sea, which is the fish, no? Or yung pwede tayo makapag-beach, nagkakaroon tuloy ng hindrances na hindi tayo makapag-beach kasi madumi yung dagat. So that is the reduction of the amenities. Yung mga mapapakinabangan natin na babawasan. International concern on marine pollution. So it is the last 50 years expression on concern towards the prevention and control of marine pollution and protection of marine environment were brought into a number of international conferences. So the following is the series of international convention relating to the marine pollution on the second half of the 20th century. Based on the historical development, oil enters the sea as a result of the natural phenomena. It is also enters to the sea result of man's activity. So again, yung oil is because of our man-made, no? Hindi naman siya magkakaroon ng oil sa dagat kundi dahil sa atin. There are also the natural seepage and accidental spill or long-term low-level discharge. So the pressure of oil in the marine environment to some extent are unavoidable. The tonnage terms to the most important pollutant resulting from shipping operation is in the Oil National Academy of the Science, or NAS, of the United States. It is estimated in 1980 that is as the 3.54 million tons of oil entered in the sea every year. So imagine ganun kadami yung oil na napupunta sa dagat every year, and some 1.5 million tons of which the resulted from the transport of oil by sea. So sa pagda-transport pa lang, meron ng 1.5 million tons. So the remainder became the kind of base activities are included in this industrial waste, urban runoff, and natural seeps. So the other parts from the 1.5 million tons, if you will going to subtract from 3.54, the remaining is for the kind of base of water or activities in which industrial waste or urban of the natural seep. So doon na po mapupunta yung remaining ng 3.54 million tons. So the world's tanker fleet have a changed dramatically in size in 1950s, 3,000 tons dead weight and regarded as the very large. So today, tanker of 250 thousand tons dead weight are commonplace. So a much greater quantity to the oil enters into the sea as a result of normal tanker operation. So usually it is associated in cleaning of the cargo residues. So because we need to clean the cargo residues, syempre sa ating mga tanker vessel, kailangan natin mag-import ng oil sa other country. Then during our loading operation, then we go into this, bago tayo maglo-loading tayo, then magdi-discharge, then right after discharge, kailangan natin tanggalin yung residue niyan para malinis ulit yung paglalagyan ng oil. So again, saan mapupunta yung residue? So doon nagkakaroon ng cleavage in which take place in ships is returning to the port of discharge to take another cargo oil. So ayun po yung nagiging disadvantage. Nagkakaroon tayo ng pollution. So the amount of clingage normally amounts of 0.4% of cargo carrying capacity, about 800 tons on a 2,000 tons deadweight crude oil tanker. So during the ballasting and cleaning, so the ballasting and cleaning, it is in which we are going to clean and we're going to check before the loading and unloading or discharging operation. So as much as the half of the seas can be lost overboard unless the slabs are retained on board. So yung kalahati daw nito ay kadalasan napupunta sa dagat or unless it is retained overboard. So when it is retained overboard, we are going to dispose it into the facility. Saan po ba nakalocate yung facility? Yung facility natin ay nakalocate siya sa mga port facilities. No? Pagdating ng port, doon po natin siya i-discharge. Okay, so in the tonnage terms, still probably the biggest source of oil pollution from ships for about 700,000 tons a year, according to the NAS, but it has declined considerably in recent years. So in pollution, it is the inconvenience or damage caused by human activities to humans, plants, animals, to our environment as a whole by spreading compounds to air, water, or land. So that includes our lecture for today, and for our activity. Before our question and answer portion, let me show to you our first exercises in which I will going to post on our class Google Classroom. So meron lang din siyang time. By the way, bibigyan ko kayong enough time para makapag sagot kayo dyan. And kung mapapansin nyo, dire-diretso yung ating lecture para dire-diretso rin yung inyong pahinga. No? Hindi ko kayo bibigyan ng cut-off time, cut-off time, cut-off time para hindi masayang ang oras nyo. No? So since it is online, bibigyan ko kayo ng enough time to research or enough time to study. No? Hindi yung magka-cut off ako ng time, masasayang ang oras nyo, maghihintay na naman kayo ng ganito katagal. Okay? Next. So for the first activity, it is 10 points each. Explain the objective of the MARPOL in 73-78. So based on our discussion or based on your learning, so explain the objective of MARPOL 73-78 and explain the different major sources of pollution and its effect to the environment. So that is 10 points each. And next, exercise number 2, cite the 5 hazardous waste that can be categorized in accordance with the MARPOL 73-78. And last, state the 5 shipboard sea pollution sources. So that is 5, 5, then 10, 10. So again, it is a total of, sige, gawin na lang natin yung 5 points each. Now, 5 for the number 1, 5 for the number 2, then 5 for the number 1, and 5 for the number 2. So, a total of 20 points. No? So, bibigyan ko kayong enough time para dyan, and we are going to check it for our next discussion. No? So, right away, kapag na-check ko na yan, makikita nyo rin yan sa Google Classroom kung ano yung scores nyo. And again, the scores is being a, pag ako yung nag-score, fair ako, no? Ala kung, inaano kung sa tingin nyo is mas magaling siya or mas magaling ka, no? Pagdating sa grading system, fair po ako. Kahit tanongin nyo po kung sino yung mga naging students ko na dyan, no? And again, good morning and have a nice day and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.